At the beginning of the film story, it is established that there is a company that traps people and imprisons them in a scary room. This room is called an escape room, and it has a few puzzles that have to be solved or else people will die. This game is very popular among rich people because they enjoy watching it and place bets on it. Only a girl named Zoey and her friend were able to escape from the previous escape room. After that, Zoey promised herself that she would catch these scary games and have them shut down. Then a man is shown who was an employee of this company, and he has made escape rooms for the company. He has a wife and a daughter, and the daughter's name is Claire. His wife does not like his job, and she says that it will have a bad influence on our daughter. Therefore, I want a divorce from you and am taking my daughter. But the husband says, "Calm down, I'm very busy right now, we'll talk about it later." His wife takes a shower and sits in the room, but 3 iron rods locks the room, and she realizes that her husband has locked her in an escape room. The temperature in the room starts to rise rapidly. She pleads to open the door, but there's no response. And due to the steam, a mystery appears on the door, the answer of which is stone. She sees the stone there and takes out one of the magnets, and immediately realizes that this magnet is to remove the iron rods of the door. She starts removing the rods one by one, but the temperature in the room becomes more than 240 degrees. Because of this, her skin starts melting and she dies due to the high temperature before she can remove the last rod. Years later, their daughter Claire is shown as an adult, but her father has locked her in a room because she's an expert at making escape rooms. Her father has forced her to make an escape room. Claire's father is very angry that Zoey escaped his game. He tells his daughter to make a very difficult escape room so that Zoey cannot escape this time. Knowing that Zoey is coming from New York by plane, he has prepared an escape room for Zoey inside the plane. Zoey and her friend are shown at the airport, and they are going to New York to expose this company. Zoey feels that something is wrong, so she refuses to get off the plane, and they both run away. Now they leave for New York by car and spend the night in a hotel. Zoey's friend feels that he is in an escape room. In reality, there was nothing, and it was just her dream. They reach a place where a thief snatches Zoey's chain and runs away. They chase the thief and reach a station, but the thief runs away and traps them in the train. Zoey feels that something is wrong because there are only 6 people sitting in the train. She goes to check the driver's cabin, but there's no one there. The door locks, their box separates from the train and goes somewhere else, and everyone panics. The box stops in an empty tunnel. Zoey's friend tries to open the train door, but it locks, and they realize that the company has found them and trapped them here. The surprising thing was that the other 4 people in the train have also won this deadly game before. That is, now it is a game of champions. Current spreads through the train through the machines, and now they cannot touch any iron object. A boy finds a bag under the seat that contains towels and a door handle. They use this handle to open the driver's cabin. Inside, they find a token machine and have to put 9 tokens in it. It says, "Find the mistakes on the poster." They look at the poster and the E is missing, and they start looking for spelling mistakes. Zoey notices that there are a total of 26 handles on the train, and there are 26 letters of the alphabet, meaning they have to pull the handles with the missing letters. A girl takes a large piece of rubber out of the bag, and they divide it among themselves so that they can pull the iron handles while avoiding the current. Zoey pulls a handle and a token comes out of it, and she puts it in the token box. Then they pull the handles with the missing letters, and the tokens keep coming out. The current also increases as the handles are pulled. Now a boy finds the last 3 missing letters, but before he can tell the others, he accidentally grabs an iron pipe. He dies from the electric shock. Zoey sees that the word is "welcome back," and she tells the others the remaining 3 missing letters. Zoey's friend immediately pulls the handles. He puts the token in the machine, and with it, a portal opens and they leave. They get into an elevator that is taking them underground. When the elevator stops, they tell each other about each other. One boy was a priest. One girl was a writer and the other was a nurse. Now they get out of the elevator and enter a huge escape room. They have to go through the door ahead, but the writer girl steps on the ground without thinking. This activates the laser, but luckily no one dies and they immediately get the writer girl out of there because she had stepped on the wrong tile and the laser stops. Now they have to go through this path and reach the door within 10 minutes or else the door will close. If they step on the wrong tile, the laser will destroy them. The priest takes out a key from the lollipop, and Zoey goes to the lockers where she takes out the key and crosses the counter. The nurse and the writer also find the key, and they move towards opening the lock. Zoey's friend sees a number on each lock, but one lock has a name written on it, and they start to open it. As soon as it opens, many sharp diamonds come out of it, and Zoey touches it, her finger gets injured. The girls also take out blank notes from this lock, and after a while, the light of an ATM turns on, and now they need its code. Zoey's friend thinks that if Zoey's blood is put on these notes, the code can be found. But when the nurse goes to give the note to the counter, the laser is activated and the nurse falls down in fear. The laser also turns off when she falls. The priest gives the note to Zoey, and by putting blood, they get the code. As soon as he enters the code into the ATM, the 3 clocks stop at different times, actually signaling them to walk on the correct tiles. The clock's bell tells them which direction to go, and the minute hand tells them how many steps to walk. The priest walks 12 steps by looking at the hands. He keeps placing lollipops on the tiles behind him so that everyone knows the right way, but halfway through, the hands change. The next tile is pressed like a button, and a new locker immediately appears. A mystery appears on the tile he stands on. They panic and start looking for the code to open the locker. Time is running out, so the priest trusts in God and moves forward, even though others forbid him, but he does not. Stepping on the wrong tile activates the laser. His head hits the table and he falls unconscious. The girls remove his foot from the wrong tile and the laser stops. Ryder has figured out the mystery, so she keeps turning the handle of the locker. It opens, and this time a map comes out, and Zoey places it on the design on the wall. Now they find another way. Zoey stops here and tells the others the way forward, and then they pick up the unconscious priest and leave. Zoey also quickly runs to the door. She gets out of the door at exactly the right time, and now they have crossed 2 escape rooms. The priest comes to his senses, and then they move towards the 3rd escape room. It is built like a beach. Ryder sees a camera and picks it up and takes a picture. The photo shows a boat, but there is nothing in front of it, so they start looking for the boat. Zoey's friend takes out a device from the garbage that can find iron objects, and with it, he finds the boat everywhere. Zoey sees 2 statues, and one of the statues has strange-looking eyes with oysters on it. The device makes a sound on the sand, and they dig in the place and pull out a large object tied with ropes. But the rope breaks, and the sand swallows it immediately. They realize that the sand is turning into a swamp. The nurse gets stuck in this swamp, and the sand swallows her. The priest ties a rope around his waist and jumps into the swamp. He saves the nurse, but the rope breaks again and he gets stuck in the swamp and dies. The sand is turning into a swamp, so they go to a cabin, but when they go inside, they find that the way out is inside the fridge. You need a code to open the fridge. There's a button, and when Zoey presses it, the lights of the building outside turn on. She realizes that the next clue will be found at the top of the building, so she goes up the stairs. Zoey sees a message through the telescope that says, "I can't see you," but C is misspelled and should have been C. She shouts this hint to everyone, but on her way down, she sees a round door. Zoey's friend understands the hint. He runs towards the statue with oysters on its eyes, and he pulls out the oysters with force. It is actually the code for the fridge, and he opens the fridge with it. Now they can get out of there. Zoey removes the round door, and there is a secret passage, and she understands that if they go that way, they will be out of the game. She calls the others, and apart from the writer, her friend and the nurse trust her and go with her. Now they are going up the stairs. The nurse reaches the top, but the stairs close before Zoey's friend can go up. He falls into the sand and gets buried, and Zoey is very sad to see him. Now they reach a place through a secret passage. There's a ladder to get out of there. They get out of the ladder and see the cars and think that they are on the road. That is, they have actually gotten out of the game, but nothing like that happens. Ryder runs to them and tells them that this is the 4th escape room and that acid rain will happen every minute. We have to go to the shop and escape, but it is locked. Ryder goes up and finds the key from there. She opens the lock and raises the shutter, but there is another door in front of the shop. As soon as the time runs out, acid rain starts, but a lid falls on them and they escape. The rain stops, and then the 1-minute timer starts. A phone rings in a box, but it is also locked, and Zoey says that if we collect acid, we can melt the lock and open the door. The nurse finds something that won't burn with acid and brings a bottle. When the time is up, the rain starts again. They stand under the lid and put the bottle. When the rain stops, they use the accumulated acid to melt the lock and open the door. Zoey picks up the phone, but there is no answer, and she finds out about the car from a poster. She thinks the car parked there is the next clue and starts looking for the car. She sees that the car door is locked, and then when the time is up, it starts raining. The girls have umbrellas and they give them to Zoey. Zoey is saved from being burned by the acid. Zoey sees 3 rings on a poster and tells the nurse to let the phone ring 3 times and then pick it up. When the nurse does so, the car door opens and Zoey immediately gets in the car. After the rain, the girls also try to get into the car, but the door is locked and the door of the telephone box also closes by itself. The lid also goes in, and they have no way out, so they burn to death in the acid rain. Zoey starts screaming after seeing this terrible scene because she cannot save them. At the same time, the seat opens, and Zoey goes somewhere else, and Claire's father, who makes the escape room, seems to be doing something wrong because Zoey did not come to the last escape room where she was supposed to come, but went somewhere else. He understands that this must have been done by his daughter, Claire, so that Zoey could escape. On the other hand, Claire's friend comes with Zoey. Zoey understands after seeing Claire that she used to make the escape room. Claire tells Zoey that I am doing all this on my father's orders. My father locked me in this room after my mother died. I called you here to get me out of here and help me. Zoey says, I don't trust you. Why should I help you? She claims that I made a mistake in the beach escape room when your friend was buried in the sand, and he survived. He is safe in one room, but Claire's father's partner puts him in the last escape room. This is a room with a temperature. Zoey's friend starts solving the mystery of this room, but if he doesn't solve it quickly, he will end up like Claire's mother. Claire tells Zoey that I can save your friend from my father's computer, but for that, I have to get out of this room. Zoey starts solving the mystery from the wall, but it changes in seconds, so it is impossible to solve. Claire says that my father said you would never be able to solve this mystery on your own, and Zoey stands in a place where Claire cannot see. She finds a code that opens the door, and Claire gets out. He starts to strangle his daughter, but she pushes her father away and locks him in the same room she was in. Claire runs to her father's room and closes the last escape room from his computer where Zoey's friend was trapped. Thus, he escapes. Zoey asks Claire, "Where is my friend?" And she tells him that he is in the building where you went first. All your escape rooms have been played in this building. I have locked up all the people who made this game there. So you hand them over to the police with the evidence, and I will hand over my father to the police. Later, Zoey reaches the building in the car. There are police and ambulances there. The bodies of the players are also being removed. The police also arrest the people who were playing the game. Zoey also finds her friend. Claire comes to her father. Here, Claire's true face is revealed, how dangerous she is. She has been crazy since childhood. Her habits like hurting others and treating everyone badly were born since childhood. Her mother was going to send her to a mental hospital so that she could recover. So she ended her mother in a temperature-controlled escape room. Yes, Claire had ended her, and now she ends her father here too so that she can become famous by creating even more deadly escape rooms. She had been trying to be innocent from the beginning, but she was so crazy that she killed her parents. This is where the movie ends.